The United States quarter dollar dated 1999 with the P mint mark is a historically important coin because it belongs to the very first year of the 50-state quarters program, a landmark initiative launched by the U.S. Mint to honor each of the 50 states in the order they ratified the Constitution. This particular quarter represents the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which ratified the U.S. Constitution in 1787, becoming the second state to join the Union after Delaware. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark on the obverse, this coin carries deep national symbolism because Philadelphia itself is often called the birthplace of American democracy. The year 1999 marks a turning point in modern U.S. coinage, as millions of Americans began collecting state quarters from everyday circulation, turning common pocket change into a rolling history lesson. On the obverse front of the coin is the enduring portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a design first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Washington faces left, embodying leadership, stability, and the ideals of the American Republic. Above his head is the bold inscription Liberty, one of the most powerful words in U.S. history and a cornerstone of American identity. To the left of Washington is the national motto In God We Trust, while the date 1999 appears to the right. Beneath Washington's neckline is the P mint mark, signifying that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the United States and the very place where the first federal coins were struck. The obverse design was intentionally kept consistent throughout the entire state quarters program to represent national unity, while the reverse celebrated the individuality of each state. The reverse back of the Pennsylvania state quarter is rich with symbolism reflecting the state's foundational role in American history and political philosophy. At the center of the design is an outline of the state of Pennsylvania, a clear geographic identifier that emphasizes the state's importance and presence among the original colonies. Inside the outline is a keystone, one of the most powerful symbols associated with Pennsylvania. The keystone represents strength, stability, and central importance, reflecting Pennsylvania's nickname, the Keystone State. In architecture, a keystone is the central stone at the top of an arch that holds all other stones in place, symbolizing how Pennsylvania was crucial to holding together the early American colonies. Within the keystone are the words virtue, liberty, independence, a phrase taken directly from the Great Seal of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. These three words summarize the moral and political ideals upon which the state and the nation were founded. Virtue represents moral integrity and responsible citizenship, liberty reflects freedom from tyranny and oppression, and independence commemorates the courage to break away from British rule and form a new nation. Above the design is United States of America, while E pluribus unum appears to the right, meaning out of many one, reinforcing the idea of unity among the states. At the bottom of the reverse is quarter dollar, clearly stating the denomination, and beneath the state outline is 1787, the year Pennsylvania ratified the Constitution, a defining moment in American history. From a historical perspective, Pennsylvania's importance cannot be overstated. The state was home to Philadelphia, where both the Declaration of Independence, 1776, and the United States Constitution, 1787, were debated, written, and signed. Pennsylvania hosted the First and Second Continental Congresses, served as the nation's capital for several years, and played a decisive role in the American Revolutionary War. The ideals represented on the coin, virtue, liberty, and independence, are not abstract slogans but reflect the real political struggles, philosophical debates, and sacrifices that took place on Pennsylvania soil. The reverse design captures this legacy in a clean, powerful composition that communicates Pennsylvania's central role in the American experiment. The coin itself is struck in the standard clad composition used for modern U.S. quarters, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel bonded over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, a traditional security feature used on U.S. coinage for centuries. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1999p Pennsylvania quarters, making them extremely common in circulation during the late 1990s and early 2000s. In terms of collector value, the 1999p Pennsylvania quarter is generally worth face value in circulated condition due to its high mintage. However, well-preserved uncirculated examples, coins with strong luster, or pieces from mint sets may carry a small premium among collectors. Some collectors also seek out error coins or exceptionally high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services. Beyond monetary value, this coin holds enormous educational and symbolic importance. As one of the very first state quarters ever released, it represents the beginning of a program that re-energized interest in U.S. coin collecting and helped millions of people, especially young collectors, learn American history through everyday money. The Pennsylvania quarter stands as a compact monument to the ideals that shaped the United States, reminding anyone who holds it that virtue, liberty, and independence are not just historical words, but living principles that continue to define the nation next top. The United States quarter dollar dated 1999 with the P mint mark is part of the first year of the historic 50-state quarters program, a nationwide initiative launched by the United States Mint to honor each state in the order they ratified the U.S. Constitution. This particular coin represents the state of Georgia, which ratified the Constitution in 1788, becoming the fourth state to join the Union. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark on the obverse, the Georgia quarter holds special importance because it was one of the original 5 state quarters released in 1999, alongside Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut. These first releases sparked one of the largest coin-collecting movements in American history, drawing interest from millions of people across the country and around the world. The obverse of the coin features the timeless portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, a design that has appeared on the quarter since 1932. Washington faces left, symbolizing leadership, national unity, and the founding principles of the United States. Above his head is the inscription Liberty, a core American ideal that resonates strongly with the nation's revolutionary past. To the left of Washington is the national motto "In God We Trust," while the date 1999 appears to the right. Beneath Washington's neck is the P mint mark, clearly indicating the Philadelphia Mint, the first and oldest mint of the United States, deeply connected to the early history of American coinage. The reverse, back, of the Georgia state quarter is rich in symbolism and reflects the state's political philosophy, history, and identity. At the center of the design is an outline map of the state of Georgia, representing its geographic presence and role among the original colonies. Within the map is a prominent image of the state's coat of arms, featuring an arch supported by 3 pillars. Each pillar represents one of the fundamental principles of Georgia's government: wisdom, justice, and moderation. These words appear directly beneath the pillars and are drawn from the official state motto of Georgia, which emphasizes balanced governance, moral responsibility, and fairness under the rule of law. The arch itself symbolizes the Constitution, reflecting Georgia's early commitment to constitutional government following independence from British rule. Wrapped around the pillars is a banner inscribed with the word Constitution, reinforcing the importance of law, structure, and civic order. A soldier stands guard beside the arch, holding a sword, symbolizing the defense of the Constitution and the state's readiness to protect liberty and justice. Beneath the map appears the date, 1788, commemorating the year Georgia ratified the U.S. Constitution, a defining moment that secured its place in the new American Republic. Surrounding the central design are the inscriptions United States of America, at the top and quarter dollar at the bottom, with E pluribus unum positioned to the right, expressing the unity of the states within one nation. Historically, Georgia holds a unique position among the original 13 colonies. Founded in 1733, it was the last of the original colonies and served as a vital buffer between British South Carolina and Spanish Florida. During the American Revolutionary War, Georgia experienced intense conflict and political struggle, but it ultimately emerged as a strong supporter of independence and constitutional government. The ideals of wisdom, justice, and moderation reflect not only Georgia's state philosophy but also broader Enlightenment principles that influenced the Founding Fathers. These values were intended to guide lawmakers toward thoughtful decision-making, fair legal systems, and restraint in the exercise of power. By placing these words on its quarter, Georgia presents itself as a state rooted in balanced governance and civic responsibility. The coin itself is struck in the standard clad composition used for modern U.S. quarters, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel bonded over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which has long been used as a security measure to prevent tampering and counterfeiting. From a collector's standpoint, the 1999 P Georgia quarter is widely available due to its high mintage, with hundreds of millions struck for circulation. In circulated condition, it typically holds a value equal to its face value, while uncirculated examples, coins from mint sets, or specimens with exceptional luster may command a small premium among collectors. Error coins, such as off-center strikes or die varieties, are especially sought after. Beyond monetary value, the Georgia quarter carries strong educational and symbolic significance. As part of the first wave of state quarters, it represents the beginning of a program that reshaped modern American numismatics and renewed public interest in history through everyday currency. The clear presentation of Georgia's motto, wisdom, justice, moderation, turns this coin into a miniature lesson in political philosophy and state identity. Even decades after its release, the 1999 P Georgia state quarter remains a meaningful reminder of America's founding ideals, the importance of constitutional government, and the enduring values that continue to guide the nation's next top 3. The coin shown is a United States quarter dollar from the 50-state quarters program, specifically the New Hampshire State Quarter, released in 2000 and struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark. This coin is part of one of the most important modern coin programs in U.S. history, launched by the U.S. Mint to celebrate each state's heritage, history, and contribution to the nation. The New Hampshire Quarter was the 9th coin released in the program and the 4th issued in the year 2000, following Massachusetts, Maryland, and South Carolina. On the obverse front, the coin carries the classic George Washington portrait, designed originally by John Flanagan, which has appeared on U.S. quarters since 1932. Washington faces left, and above his head is the word liberty, symbolizing freedom and the foundational ideals of the United States. To the left of Washington's ponytail is the motto "In God We Trust," while the year 2000 appears on the right. Below Washington's neck is the D Mint mark, identifying this coin as struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The obverse design reflects continuity, stability, and national unity, linking modern quarters with earlier generations of American coinage. The reverse, back, of the New Hampshire Quarter is deeply symbolic and historically meaningful. At the center is the famous Old Man of the Mountain, a natural granite rock formation that once stood in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. This iconic profile, resembling the face of an old man looking east, was one of the most recognized natural landmarks in the United States and served as a powerful state symbol. Although the formation tragically collapsed in 2003, 3 years after the coin's release, its presence on the quarter preserves its memory forever in American numismatic history. Next to the rock formation are the inscriptions "Old Man of the Mountain" and "Live Free or Die," the official state motto of New Hampshire. This motto, written by Revolutionary War hero General John Stark in 1809, reflects the fiercely independent spirit of the state and its citizens. Around the top edge of the reverse is New Hampshire 1788, marking the year New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, a key moment in American history. Along the bottom edge is 2000 and E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, reinforcing national unity. The coin is made of a clad composition, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a pure copper core, weighing 5.67 grams and measuring 24.26 millimeters in diameter, which is standard for modern U.S. quarters. The edge is reeded, a traditional feature used to prevent clipping and counterfeiting. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters, making them common in circulation, though well-preserved uncirculated examples are popular among collectors, especially as part of complete state quarter sets. While the 2000 D New Hampshire Quarter generally holds modest monetary value today, usually face value in worn condition and slightly higher in uncirculated grades, its historical, cultural, and emotional value is significant. It represents a vanished American landmark, a powerful message of liberty, and a landmark program that introduced millions of people to coin collecting. For collectors, educators, and history lovers alike, this quarter stands as a lasting tribute to New Hampshire's identity and America's commitment to preserving its stories through coinage. Next, top 4. The United States quarter dollar dated 2001 with the D Mint mark is part of the famous 50-state quarters program, one of the most influential and widely collected coin series in U.S. history. This particular coin represents the Commonwealth of Kentucky, which proudly entered the Union in 1792 as the 15th state of the United States. The Kentucky quarter was the first state quarter released in the year 2001, marking a new phase of the program after the successful debut years of 1999 and 2000. Minted at the Denver Mint, the D Mint mark located on the obverse identifies its place of production and links the coin to one of America's most historic minting facilities. The obverse of the coin features the enduring portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, a design that has symbolized American unity and leadership on the quarter since 1932. Above Washington's head appears the word liberty, a foundational principle of the United States and a central theme of its coinage. To the left of Washington is the national motto "In God We Trust," while the date 2001 is placed to the right. Beneath Washington's neck is the D Mint mark, clearly indicating the Denver Mint. The obverse design intentionally remained consistent throughout the 50-state quarters program, serving as a stable national symbol, while the reverse celebrated individual states and their unique identities. The reverse side of the Kentucky state quarter is rich in history, culture, and symbolism. Dominating the design is the iconic image of a thoroughbred horse, representing Kentucky's world-famous horse industry, which has earned the state the nickname, the horse capital of the world. Horse breeding, racing, and training have been central to Kentucky's economy and culture for centuries, with legendary events such as the Kentucky Derby, first held in 1875 at Churchill Downs in Louisville, becoming internationally recognized symbols of American sport and tradition. Behind the horse is a Federal-style mansion, modeled after Federal Hill, the historic estate in Bardstown, Kentucky. Federal Hill is closely associated with the song "My Old Kentucky Home," written by Stephen Foster, which later became the official state song. This connection explains the inscriptions "My Old Kentucky Home" and "Kentucky" on the reverse of the coin. The year 1792 appears beneath the design, commemorating the year Kentucky was admitted to the Union, highlighting its early role in the westward expansion of the young United States. The combination of the horse and the historic home beautifully balances Kentucky's agricultural strength with its cultural and musical heritage, presenting a warm image of tradition, pride, and a deep sense of home. Encircling the reverse are additional inscriptions that reinforce national and state identity. Along the top is United States of America, while E pluribus unum appears to the right, the Latin motto meaning out of many one, symbolizing the unity of states within the nation. At the bottom is quarter dollar, clearly identifying the denomination. The coin is struck in the standard clad composition used for modern U.S. quarters, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, bonded over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, a traditional design element intended to deter counterfeiting and protect the coin's integrity. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Kentucky quarters in 2001, making them common in circulation during the early 2000s and still frequently found today in pocket change. From a collector's perspective, the 2001 Kentucky quarter holds modest monetary value due to its high mintage, generally worth face value in circulated condition and slightly more in uncirculated or mint state grades. However, its true value lies in its historical and cultural significance. It captures Kentucky's identity as a place of tradition, hospitality, music, and natural beauty, often summarized by popular tourism slogans emphasizing friendliness and a sense of belonging, ideas echoed by phrases such as "It's that friendly" and "It's that home." For many Americans, this quarter evokes images of rolling bluegrass fields, powerful racehorses, classic Southern architecture, and the emotional pull of home and heritage. As part of the broader 50-state quarters program, the Kentucky quarter also played a major role in inspiring a new generation of collectors, educators, and students to learn about U.S. history through everyday coinage. Even decades after its release, the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter remains a meaningful and enduring symbol of American state pride, national unity, and the idea that history can live on in the smallest objects we use every day.